constitutional right to contest for the position of governor. None of us just said, we don't do anything from now. We can say that to all Nigerians.
Welcome to Head to Head on Silverbird Television. My name is Victor Ayara. Now, on this edition of the program, we'll be talking about a community conflict. Conflict in one of the highest producing oil communities in Delta State, which has claimed 3 lives. We're trying to get to the bottom or the core of the issues. What exactly is happening there? Now, to talk about this issue is the National Coordinator of Warri Interest Group, Comrade Alex Eyengho. Thank you very much for joining us on Head to Head.
Thank you, Victor.
Now, give us a background to this problem, which has claimed the lives of 3 young men in your community.
Well, this started since September 18, 2011, when Dickin Thomas Ereitomi was re-elected as the chairman of Ugborodo Community Trust. Now, Ugborodo community is in Warri Southwest local government area of Delta State, and like you rightly said, is the highest oil producing community in Delta State. Honorable Thomas Ereitomi was re-elected, I said, for the 2nd term, in line with the constitution of the community, in compliance, total compliance to the constitution of the community. He was re-elected in Ugborodo, as stipulated in the constitution of the community on September 18, 2011. The representative of the state government were present there. In fact, the chief security advisor to the governor, who represented the Governor Emmanuel Udwan, was there. The Navy commander, Army commander, the JTF representative, the police were all in attendance where Thomas Ereitomi was re-elected for the 2nd time. They were there as observers and to ensure security of lives and property. You understand? And after the election, Thomas Ereitomi hit the ground running. He started walking. However, surprisingly to many Ugborodo indigenes, Mr. David Tonwe also claimed to have been elected in another local government area, in fact in Warri South local government area, in GRA, in Warri South local government area, while Thomas was elected in compliance with the constitution in Warri Southwest, in fact in Ugborodo, in Ikpere Hall, as stipulated in the 1996 constitution of the Ugborodo community. So ever since then, there was now a semblance of faction in the community. And as days rose into weeks and weeks into months, Mr. David Tonwe became very desperate to cling to that power, to become the chairman of Ugborodo Community Trust. And there has been one problem or the other, different shenanigans, and the community has never known peace, at least on the pages of newspaper, because a Mr. David Tonwe cannot even go to the community where he's laying claim to the leadership. He and his executive, the secretary, the PRO, they cannot even go to the community.
So now, what is it about the leadership of the trust, of the governing council of Ugborodo, that is bringing all this desperation? What is it about it?
Well, basically, the trust is a body established since 1963. It's a body, it's like an administrative body that interface between the community and the oil communities operating within the confines
so this is
of
about
Ugborodo.
This is about money. It's about oil money, right?
Yes, it's about oil money, but it's about administration.
And who controls the money?
Not necessarily.
Of course, it's about the money and who controls it.
No, it is about who administers, who will occupy that leadership position and administer and interface with oil communities or oil companies operating in that area with a view to adding value to the lives of the people.
How much value has been added so far when it comes to infrastructural development, when it comes to human capital development? How much value has been added since it has been instituted? Well, or is it a council where people just divide whatever, share whatever the oil companies bring amongst themselves?
Well, I will tell you very straight on that for all I know, from 2008 till now, I can speak very confidently about that. That is 2008 when Thomas Ereyitomi became the chairman. I have seen some marked changes and development in the area in terms of youth empowerment, in terms of, like you said, human capital development, in terms of peace and security, which is very critical. Without peace and security in an area, there can be no iota of development. And since this Thomas Ereyitomi became the chairman of that trust, there has been peace. If you are a media man, before now, I know the picture, the impression you have about Ugborodo is that it's a very volatile area.
So he gave you some of the monies, at least that's why you're talking like this?
Oh,
you share the part of the revenue, that's why you are now supporting him, that he must be there at all costs?
That is very...
Even when 3 people have died already, so those lives don't mean anything to you.
That is very laughable, because let me give you a little background about the group I represent.
Now, what's your own interest in all this? What's your interest?
Yeah, let me give you a little background. I am the national coordinator of Warri Interest Group. Warri Interest Group, we don't belong to any of the so-called faction, because I don't believe there is a faction. There is one trust, and there is one trust executive chairman, and which is led by Thomas Ereyitomi.
Okay.
Warri Interest Group that I represent, nobody can buy us. We are all professionals. First, it's a pressure group, it's a non-governmental organization. I am a filmmaker. I do things to pay my dues. Some of our members are lawyers, doctors, engineers. We are just a group of stakeholders from that place.
And already you're taking sides. Are you not contradicting yourself when you say you are non-partisan, you don't belong to any of the factions, but already you are taking sides with Thomas Ereyitomi?
What I am saying here, the truth is bitter, but it has to be told. There is no matter of taking sides here.
But this is the truth coming from you. We haven't heard from the other people.
Well, they have the right to come here. There is right to reply. Whatever I am saying here is a product of painstaking investigation, independent investigation by the Warri Interest Group. We have done our investigation. I am from that place. It is often said that bad people thrive when good people sit idly and do nothing. And as an indigene of that community, I cannot sit idly. Yes, I can sit comfortably in my business, doing my film and all of that, making my money. I don't do oil business. I'm not a contractor in that area. I don't do any business in that area, but it is my community, and we are talking about lives here. Lives have been lost, and it behoves on us as independent people to come out with the truth. Yes, in matters like this, wherever you have factional problem, it is often said that there are 2 sides to a story. No, for us in Warri Interest Group, we believe there are 3 sides to a story. In this instance, the Thomas Ereyitomi story, the David Towe story, and the truth. And it is the truth that Warri Interest Group has come here to represent. They have money to take.
How do I know you're saying the truth, Mr. Adrian?
Because these things can be verified. Say, for instance, the governor of the state, or the state government, the governor who is the chief security officer of the state, it is his primary responsibility to ensure the safety of lives and property. He has intervened on this matter. And he recognized, the state government recognized the Thomas Ereyitomi-led executive. The Olu of Warri, who is the #1 Ishekiri man, who is the custodian of Ishekiri custom and tradition, interferes in this matter, called all the parties involved to a meeting in his palace some weeks ago, and came out with his ruling and recognized Chief Thomas Ereyitomi. You see, the truth is, no matter how you mash the truth, put it down, mash on it, the truth will always find a way of bouncing back.
Are not, everybody is not, you're sounding as if everybody is lining up behind the man. You have called his name severally.
Yes.
But there are allegations of fraud against him, which is the reason why the people do not want to continue, or the continuance of his administration of the trust.
You see, it's very easy to allege. It behoves on who alleges to prove.
But this matter, are there forged allegations?
Of course, there are allegations. Anybody can make allegations. They made allegations. In fact, they made allegations to EFCC in Port Harcourt, the Economic Financial Crimes Commission in Port Harcourt. They even took the matter to SFU here, special fraud unit here in Lagos. Now they claim that Chief Thomas Ereyitomi, initially that is what is contained in their petition, which I had copy of. That's what is contained in that, that he embezzled, I think, about 700 million naira. Of course, EFCC has to investigate. They investigated. SFU in Lagos here investigated. They came out with their report and said, look, what we have seen here, it's about 200 and something million that passed through Chief Thomas Ereyitomi's first tenure. And every kobo of that amount, there are documentary evidence to show how it was spent. And the EFCC and SFU now went back to the those alleging David Tonwe and the rest of them and said, okay, come and provide us with more information. You seem to have more information about this 700 million. They never went back. What we hear, in fact, what they do, their strategy is to fight on the pages of newspaper because they have so much money to buy pages of
now, I'm asking you, what is your interest in all of this? Because if you are already taking sides that, okay, these are allegations, or how do you know the allegations when you were not the auditor of that trust council? Were you the auditor of that trust council?
Like I said,
were you the auditor?
Like I said, like I tell you,
asking you, were you the auditor?
I don't need to be the auditor. I am from that community.
How do you know that there were no fraudulent embezzlements of money or whatever? How do you know that? How do you know that?
By virtue of what I do and my work as a filmmaker and as a journalist and a publisher of a foremost magazine covering that area, Warri Mirror. It is my primary responsibility to first and foremost investigate.
It's also possible that you're on the payroll of this Chief Thomas you're talking about.
Like I have told you, nobody can pay Alex Eyengho or any member of Warri Interest Group because we are all professionals in our own right, successful professionals in our own right. I'm an award-winning filmmaker. I do films, I do documentary, I do media consultancy. So I can pay my bills. So also other members of the group. We are only giving back to our community. We have chosen not to sit idly or sit on the fence while our community is suffering, while people are dying. And we decided to step in this matter because 3 lives have already been lost. And several others are still in the hospital as we speak. It could be me tomorrow.
All right, let's take a break. The program is Head to Head on Silverbird Television. I still have seated in front of me the national coordinator of Warri Interest Group. Of course, Alex Eyengho is talking about the internal crisis in one of Nigeria's highest oil-producing communities. Stay with us. Welcome back. The program is still Head to Head, and we are having this very interesting conversation with Alex Eyengho, who is the comrade, who is the national coordinator of Warri Interest Group. Now, what has been the role of other stakeholders, especially when we know that this is just a time bomb? People have been killed. They have families. If it's not handled properly, there could be a reprisal. What has been the role of other stakeholders in the whole imbroglio?
Well, if I understand what you very correctly, by stakeholder, for me, the number one stakeholder in this whole matter, because if that, Ugborodo is part of Warri Kingdom. If it boils, that means Warri Kingdom boils. And the number one Ishekirima will be affected, who is the Olu of Warri. And like I told you, he intervened in this matter. He did his own investigation. These are all his people. He called all the parties involved to his palace, and everybody presented their case. The Thomas Ereyitomi, the David Tonwe, and the neutral people. I was at the palace that very day. The Olu heard from everybody, and after hearing from everybody, the Olu in his wisdom gave his verdict. And the David Tonwe group went to town calling the Olu that is biased, that he shouldn't have even intervened because they claim that the matter is in court. That the Olu should not. You do not approbate and reprobate. You submitted yourself to a process. It's just like you go to court. After submitting yourself, the judge gave his ruling. And because the ruling did not favor you, I am very sure if the ruling favored him, or the David Tonwe and his group, they would have gladly accepted it. You understand what I'm saying? But the Olu who has the statutory responsibility to ensure peace in Warri Kingdom, intervened in this matter after thorough investigation and gave his ruling. And like I also said, the governor of the state was present by representation. His chief security advisor, who is a senior naval officer, Rear Admiral John Popogri, retired, represented the governor on September 18, 2011, where Thomas Ereyitomi was elected. I am saying this very passionately because I was present in Ugborodo that day. I will give you a DVD, a clip, or clips of the election, and you will see the mammoth crowd of Ugborodo indigents. I have been going to Ugborodo. I was in Ugborodo last week for the burial ceremony of the late father of the current Olaja Orori, who is like the chief priest of that community. I was there. I know those I saw there. I saw the Thomas Ereyitomi and all his executive. The other people I don't see. You see, it's not enough for people to sit in another local government or to be fighting battle on the pages of newspaper and electronic media. Why you cannot even go to that community? Why the people there don't recognize you? They don't accept you. Now, why do you want to impose yourself on them?
It looks like it's a clash or conflict of who controls what. Where is the place of the people? The people in all of this, in all that is playing out. Where is the place? Where is the interest of the people? Because it looks like two people are struggling over who controls resources meant for the people. Where is the place of the people in all of this?
Well, the place of the people is guaranteed. And that is why some of us who are not in any of these trusts, I am not a member of any trust, the place of the people is what some of us are fighting for, to get the right people. Because if you get the wrong person there, that means the people